Hey everyone, I'm Nia with the Food52 Test Kitchen, and I'm here with a very special guest, Gelen, and we are going to be baking a recipe from her new cookbook, Pass the Plate. Want to tell us a little bit about what we're going to be making?
This one, even though my cookbook is very dinner forward, I do have a small and mighty dessert chapter that I think a lot of people would love, so I decided to make the easy no-bake milk chocolate pie from Pass the Plate. It's a very delicious no-bake dessert. You are basically making everything on the stove and then let everything set in the fridge. So there's no baking involved or anything like that, which makes it so not fussy and so approachable. So yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, I'm excited. It looks incredible.
The first step is making our crust, which is made with chocolate sandwich cookies, also known as Oreos, and melted butter. What you'll notice here, I wanted to use as little of ingredients as possible, so I don't have any extra sugar or anything. We're just using the sugar from the Oreos and the sugar from the milk chocolate for this pie.
I know, it is really nice. I feel like a lot of people appreciate when a recipe doesn't call for a ton of ingredients.
Right, it's like one less thing you need to get out of your pantry, which is always convenient. But yeah, Oreos and butter.
Okay, amazing.
We're gonna start by melting the butter in a pan. I like to do it in a saucepan. You could also do this in a microwave, but whatever you do, make sure your butter doesn't explode in your microwave. Maybe do like 5 to 10 second intervals. So we're gonna add the butter to our saucepan.
And do you like to use salted or unsalted butter?
Ooh, that's a great question. I actually like to use unsalted butter because I like to control the salt level. So I usually use unsalted, but if you like salted butter, that totally works. Just make sure you're not adding as much salt as the recipe calls for, since you're already using salted butter.
I feel like unsalted and salted butter, it's always like a big debate.
100%, 100%.
The cooking and baking world.
I'm not an unsalted butter hater. I know there's a lot of unsalted butter haters out there.
I used to be one of those.
But I think it has its place, and it gives you like a nice base to work with, and you can make it extra salty or just keep it nice and bland.
Yeah.
So we have our melted butter over here. We're gonna let it cool for a little bit, and we're gonna blitz our cookies. We're looking for a nice, fine, powdery consistency. Not a lot of chunks, but we're gonna continue blending it with the butter. So if you don't get all of the clumps out of the way, that's also totally fine. Let's do it. We're gonna just pulse them. I tested this a bunch of times because I didn't want this to be a crust that just falls apart. You know when you make a cookie crust and it just falls apart when you lift up the pie?
That's the
worst. I feel like this has a nice amount of butter that keeps the cookies together. So
I feel like that's a good tip for people who are baking at home. It's like if you feel like your cookie crust isn't really holding together well, then you might just have to add a little bit more butter.
100%, 100%. And you also don't want to overdo it with the butter because then it's just so hard to slice into. So you want a perfect balance between the two. I think the best giveaway is this needs to have like a wet sand consistency. So if you feel like it doesn't and it's too dry, you can totally add more butter to it. So now we're just gonna press the crust in a pie crust.
Okay, so here I have a 10-inch pie dish.
Lovely.
If you don't have a 10-inch one, could you use one that's a little bit smaller? Like could you use a 9-inch one, 8-inch one?
100%. You could also just, if you have a larger one, you could just press the cookie crust on the base, like not bringing all the way to the top, sort of like a cheesecake. So you could just have the base and skip the sides, which should totally work.
Okay,
but yeah,
amazing.
We're just gonna press the cookie crust.
There we go. Yeah.
We're just gonna press the cookie crust in the pie dish.
So you have 100 recipes in your cookbook, right?
Yes.
That is a lot. Do you want to?
What was
like the process of writing a cookbook?
It was very different from developing recipes online, just because you have to work with so many recipes at once, and I developed all of them as I was doing stuff for my social media.
Wow.
So
and you
it was
also post a lot. Like you post almost every day, right?
I try to.
Like that's crazy. And having to write a cookbook on top of that, it must have been
100%. You know, halfway through writing the cookbook, I realized that people get help with the cookbook and they hire like recipe developers and writers and all this stuff.
God.
Meanwhile, I'm like doing it
You're
all
like, I'm just
by myself. But I think it was a great learning opportunity, and it taught me so much about an industry I didn't know that much about. And I think being a content creator and a recipe developer helped me a lot with writing the cookbook, because I'm sure you know this, when you develop recipes online, people are asking questions after you post a video. So I always try to preemptively answer certain questions that I know people might ask. And I wrote the recipes like very beginner friendly, so you don't have to have crazy cooking skill levels to follow these recipes. So this, once we press it, it's gonna go in the freezer or in the fridge to cool. The butter is gonna harden and keep the cookies together. And while that's happening, we're gonna move on to making the filling.
Okay, I'm gonna go pop this in the freezer and I will be right back. Hey everyone, it's Nia. I'm quickly interrupting this video to talk about one of my favorite Food52 products, and it's the 5-2 drying rack. The most obvious reason why I love it is because you can fit it over most sinks. I brought it with me to multiple different apartments that I moved to, and it fits all sinks. Another great thing about it is that it's heat proof up to 550 degrees Fahrenheit, so sometimes I'll take a hot pot and place it right on it, over the sink, or even on the table. This drying rack also has a utensil cup, which doubles as a mini colander. If you want to treat yourself, or if you want to give it to someone as a housewarming gift, you can get this 5-2 drying rack at food52.com.
We're getting the milk chocolate and we're gonna chop it. We don't need to chop it too finely, just like break it into smaller pieces. So we're gonna add the chocolate to this double boiler over here. You could totally do this in the microwave, but make sure you microwave it at about 10 to 15 second intervals. You don't want this to burn. Chocolate burns very easily in the microwave. So this one's the safest way to do it, but microwaves are also even more approachable. So I can't stop you from doing that. Just don't burn your chocolate. So this was really quick, and as you can see, I still have some chocolate chunks in there. I don't want to fully melt. Chocolate chunks are gonna melt with the residual heat, so it's gonna have a nice temperature by the time we blend it in the whipped cream.
Amazing.
So now that our chocolate is melted, we're gonna let this cool just a little bit. You don't wanna add the hot melted chocolate in the whipped cream, because everything's just gonna go like, everything's just gonna turn into a puddle.
Sloppy.
So you want to let this get to room-ish temperature. It's okay if it's like a little warm, just like not too hot. So we're gonna move on to making the filling for our chocolate pie. This comes together in about 10 minutes, I would say. It's super quick. All you have to keep in mind is to not over whip the cream, because it can very easily split, but you'll be able to tell,
so
you know,
easy to
like,
do, I feel like, too.
That's one thing I made sure to do with my instructions in the cookbook. I really wanted to have a ton of visual cues, because it's so much easier to whip something when I'm telling you, hey, whip it to soft peaks till it looks like this and this and this, rather than whip it for 2 minutes. What does that mean? You know what I mean? So whip it to like soft peaks. They're not gonna hold their shape quite yet, and then we're gonna add the sour cream.
Especially because so many people are using different techniques to whip, so it's like, this might be less powerful than like a KitchenAid stand, or like if you're using your hand too. So
you can whip this with an electric mixer, a stand mixer, a whisk, and a little bit of elbow grease. It's pretty easy. It's just whipped cream. So let's get to it. We're gonna add a little bit of salt as well.
Okay, so I'll give you this.
Awesome.
When you're at home, do you usually whip cream by hand, or do you use an electric mixer?
I use an electric mixer, just like this one. I actually use my stand mixer a little bit less than you might expect. And next up, we're going in with our secret ingredient, which is sour cream.
Sour cream and yogurts and other like soft cheeses, I guess, if you will, they kind of act as a stabilizer. So
100%.
It's what's gonna kind of help to set the pie, right?
Right. So I'm just mixing this in until the sour cream is incorporated. Our chocolate right now is it's not cold to the touch, it's room temperature. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna slowly stream this. I have Nia over here that's gonna help me, but you could totally do this just by holding the bowl with one hand and mixing it with the other. So just like a nice slow stream.
Okay, so what are we gonna do now?
I just wanted to show you the texture and just how silky and smooth this is. Look at that. Light and
it kind of
airy,
looks
and
like a mousse. Almost
Definitely.
like you could just eat it
100%.
right like that.
I think the best word to describe this texture is luxurious. It's just so cloudy and so smooth.
I feel like I would be
Look at
so
that.
happy even if someone served that into me.
I know,
I feel
in like a cup or something.
Yeah.
We're just
So
gonna
good.
spread it. We're just gonna move this to the fridge until it's nice and solid.
All right, 3 hours later. Just
Yes,
kidding.
3 hours later with the magic of cameras,
And a
we are
new-
here, and it's totally the same pie and the
Totally.
same dish. It's funny, sometimes white dishes just turn red in the fridge.
It's crazy.
So you never know.
It's crazy.
And what I like to do with this is to top it with a little bit more chocolate and a little bit more flaky salt. Go in with a peeler and just peel this everywhere like this.
I love how the peeler creates these little curls.
And then we go in with just a little bit of flaky salt. So we're gonna slice it right out. I
This
wanna
looks
show you the
so
texture
good.
and just how easily the knife penetrates through the pie. Look at that.
Oh my god, that looks
It's
so good.
so smooth. This is our beautiful slice. You can see how smooth it cut. It's very reminiscent of a cheesecake, but a little bit better than a cheesecake, if I do say so myself. And yeah,
I
you
love
just
how
pull-
thick it is, too.
Yes, so
Really
you got a great cookie crust over here, and then we have the beautiful milk chocolate filling that's soft and tender and cloud-like. It slices straight out of the fridge, and it's ready to be served. So here, we're gonna put a slice over here. Let's do that one.
Some forks. Yeah, have a bite. I'm
Yes,
so
let's do it.
excited. Gotta make sure to get like some nice cookies in there too.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mmm. That is so good.
Just salt.
Yeah, the salt is
crunchy
really
salt.
nice. Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where people can get your cookbook?
You can find Pasta Plate everywhere books are sold, libraries, bookstores. Make sure to support your local bookstores there. That's something I didn't expect. I connected with so many wonderful people with local bookshops, and they're just such passionate people that really deserve our, time and care. And I highly encourage you to support some small businesses, but also you can find Pasta Plate everywhere books are sold, and I have a whole section on my website where you can find it.
And if you don't, everyone go follow Carolina Gelen on Instagram, and I will see you in the next video.